Oh, here's Diane. I haven't seen it. I'll let anybody else in that comes in, obviously. All right, we got 4 of you in here now. If anybody else shows up, I'll let them in. Other than that, once we get done with this one, we'll, just so you know, on the next one, I did only do 1 meeting, Zoom meeting, so we can like adjourn that one and then go straight into the other one, just so we don't have to do meeting minutes for the whole thing. Unless you guys want to do meeting minutes for the whole thing, we'll, however you guys want to do it. So go for it.
Okay, well, the big thing I had on legislative well, let's go over some of the little things, just knock those out of the way with the mayor's amendments to our agenda this evening. Perfect. I guess it would be. I have too darn many tabs open to be able to find that. We have and I'll just let you talk about it, Tiffany.
Okay. I'll go through all of them just really fast because I have it up. The pool fees, hopefully I did attach the right one to the packet on Friday. That one should it's just a second reading, but I fixed the 3-year-old to a 2-year-old. So it's 2 and under and then 2 and over. So that should be fixed in your guys's, but again, it should be fixed. Resolution 2021-02, sale of the EMS vehicle. We are still 99% positive that those are the people that are buying it. The reason that we're asking for it to be, we have a 10-day span of when we actually get the check to mail out the commission. That's just the way that these contracts work. That's why we're asking you to waive the readings and do it as an emergency. And I'm just going to be honest, I do not have the check yet. If you guys want to do 1 reading this week, and then, you know, the intent would be to do the second reading and waive, next week. Again, I am 99% positive that these people are the people that are buying it. They've committed to it. They've done everything. We have not done all of the paperwork, but that's the reason that we're trying to just get it out of the way. So that's up to you guys, what you guys want to do on the EMS. I'm telling you that we would potentially still have time to do everything Monday. Because again, we won't hear anything until tomorrow. That gives us 7 days, but with mail service and all of that. So that's why we're asking you to do it. But if you guys want to do at least 1 more reading next week, I think we would be okay. Appointment of Kimber, I believe you, go for it.
Real quick, sorry.
No, you're good.
Any thoughts on that, anyone? Do we want to just do it tonight, or do we want to wait the week just to make sure? Anyone feel strongly either way?
Well, if they're going to be owed a commission at 10 days, then we might as well hedge our bets and have 1 reading.
10 days from when? That's the question.
From when we actually receive the check. So
and we haven't received the check yet, right?
No.
So,
and again, we are under the impression that the check is in the mail, everything's good, all of that. They've gone through their financing and everything. Now, could they have had a hiccup to, Friday and decided not to buy it? We just are going to find it out tomorrow morning. There's always that possibility.
And is it 10 days for us to postmark a check back to them, or 10 days for us to get a check in there?
Here's how I'm going to tell you. They said that they will not hold it. That's why I'm telling you before I had this conversation with them, this company is, I don't believe going to charge us any fees if it's 11 days or 15 days, just being honest. They just know that there are people out there that will wait 30 to 60 days before sending it. So that's why they have the 10 days if we're good for it. And basically I'm communicating with them. They're not going to charge us late fees. So that's why I'm telling you, if you guys feel more comfortable doing a reading next week, I don't believe that they're going to. I wish that today wasn't a holiday and I would have gotten more firm answers and, all of that kind of stuff before we did this reading, because I hate to come back and say, oh, the deal fell through and we've already passed legislation.
We're not going to pass it. We're just talking about doing a reading here.
Well, that's the thing is she's the choice I think that's been put in front of us, or what we're deliberating is, waive readings and move for passage tonight, or waive readings and move for passage next Monday.
Right.
Because either way, we're going to have to waive at least 1 reading.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And pass as an emergency.
Correct.
I'm leaning towards just reading it tonight and then waiving and passing it next Monday.
No.
Or whenever we get
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, because we'll have the check by then. Next Monday tomorrow's the first day we could get it. It'd be 6 days after we got it.
Right.
And then the 7th day is the next day we can mail it.
Right. And like I said, I talked to them on Friday. They were super nice, you know, definitely didn't make me feel like we really had to like hurry up, but I still wanted the first reading tonight without a doubt.
Yeah.
So I mean,
do a regular first reading tonight.
Perfect.
I'll remember that. I mean, but I won't. I'll read it in the agenda and then say, oh, no, wait. And
Perfect.
then correct myself.
Perfect.
Okay,
and then,
sorry, next one. Oh,
no, you're good. Resolution 2021-03 is the appointment of Kimber. Basically, it's going to be more of a ceremonial type thing, as you guys are aware, but we still want legislation. So, you know, we were all trying to figure out exactly how should we word this, and because it's not, you know, so there you go. On Friday night, I'm just going to put this plug in there for you guys. Friday night at 4 o'clock, we're going to do a ceremonial thing outside. Obviously, if weather is absolutely horrific, maybe we'll change it, but it shouldn't be more than 5 minutes for anybody that wants to stop by. There's going to be a food truck out there. We're not doing it because the food truck's out there, but there is going to be a food truck out there. We figure we would catch some people that may want to snap a picture or something like that. Maybe even having the fire pit going or something like that, just for a few minutes, just a little event outside. So there's that. And again, we're not waiving readings. We're not doing anything. That's just your typical first reading, just like we've been doing with the officers.
Do any of the officers feel neglected because they didn't get a little fire pit and a little ceremony?
I will not speak for all of the officers, but all of the officers that I have had the pleasure of being around in the last, they are super excited. They are pumped. So I don't want to speak for all of them because I haven't been around every single one of them, but I will tell you of the ones that are there, they are stoked that we're getting this. So, you know, I think it's just, I don't know, just like some of the residents said that, you know, Kimber's already their new favorite. So, you know, I guess they're going to lose that. But, you know, if they want a fire pit, we can do that in the summertime. We'll have a fire pit for all them. Okay, so anybody got any questions on that? Just straightforward first reading. Resolution 2021-04. This is what you guys have no idea anything about. First reading on this one. Again, this is more of me just trying to hurry up and get it in front of you guys for the first reading. We are working on, Tony, this is something you'll know somewhat about. This came from Lisa with planning and zoning. This is to do the lily pond. If you scroll down a teensy bit to, I hate to do this, but I'm going to. If you guys scroll down just a teensy tiny bit, when you look at the supplemental appropriations, first reading, ordinance 4-2021, that is in connection with this. So Lisa was able to get a grant for the lily pond. And I'm talking like you guys have any idea what I'm really talking about. I know Tony does. The pond that is behind Green Line Way, Tony, if I'm misspeaking, tell me. The pond that's behind Green Line Way, we are planning on turning that into a lily pond. That's been kind of discussed a little bit. We've shown it to you guys on the maps. This is Mad Scientist is the one that's going to help order the bulbs, and Lisa's kind of, I hate putting her on the spot, but she is. She's kind of like, she's putting this, she's going to be looking for volunteers to do all of the plantings and all of this, but Mad Scientist is the one that's getting us the bulbs. We did research getting the bulbs on ourselves, and it was actually more expensive. Mad Scientist is also going to help us with any questions and, you know, an actual plan and all of that kind of stuff. So we are using Mad Scientist to help us with the lily pond and get the bulbs, and we will be looking for volunteers to do it. But because it is an actual contract, that's why we're having some readings on it, because we do want to be ready to go with the readings as we stand, you know, without passing anything as an emergency. It's going to put us to April 8th before we can do anything. So this is perfect timing to get the first reading out. I'm going to send you guys the contract. You guys don't have it because we're getting an updated contract from them, and I will have it to you. I was hoping to have it today. Worst case, it should be tomorrow, but we're just doing the first reading. So right now, like I said, I only have the old one. The supplemental appropriation is just appropriating the funds from the grant into the correct funds. So we're not doing anything right now other than putting the money into the funds from the grants. those amounts on there, I'm going to tell you those might actually change because there's 4 different grants. 2 are ours, 2 are
MPCA.
The garden. No, I don't think it's technically MPCA. It's just the community garden. It's actually listed under community garden, which is part of, yeah. So anyways,
MPCA.
yes. So I don't know if all of the amounts are actually right on that legislation. And we did that on Friday. And I think that was before she realized there was 2 and 2. So I will make sure that all of those are correct. Again, it's just the first reading on those, and they could be correct. But I've got everything that I've got to print out and give to them for the correct amounts.
All right, so if I'm hearing what you're saying, then 04, the mad scientist is basically saying, hey, we have grant money and we're going to make something cool with it.
Yes.
And the 04 2021 supplemental appropriation is, hey, we got grant money and now we're putting it in the right funds.
Correct.
So the fund.
Are you sure that's the grant money?
Yes.
Because that looks like, that's not what the amounts that I heard.
See, and that's what I'm telling you. I think that was just the first grant. We got 2, I believe.
There's 2 different grants that we're talking.
Right, the ordinance is showing the 04 2021 is showing 2 different grants.
I told you, I don't think that they're correct. I think that, so what happened was, because you can't get the soil and the mulch, they're using that as a grant instead of the actual product. So I think what we have to do is we have to add the one with the other, because the one is not, they're both going to be grant money. They're not going to be grant money and materials. And I think that's where we weren't correct. So we're not getting the mulch and stuff, we're getting money. So the grant's going to be higher than what they appear. Does that make sense?
They're giving us money instead of materials. And
correct. So that's what that's exactly what I said. I don't think that the amount is actually correct on the legislation. They're going to be higher.
On the, sorry, go ahead, Diane.
So the conservatory grant for the green space is the lily pond, and there's no matching required.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't remember that being 2,500, but okay.
Okay, that one's ours. That's not MPCA. That might be why you didn't hear that.
No, I understand that.
It was like, it's 2,000, I believe theirs was 1,000 plus some extra. Theirs could be right. And I thought ours was 2,000 plus extra, but I was thinking ours was like 27 and theirs was like 11. Again, there's a whole bunch of emails about it. So I've got to print them all out again, because honestly, my husband took my car and I printed them out and they're in my car. That's why. And I haven't printed them back out, but they will be correct. They are very close to being correct. It is just first reading. I will make sure. And again, they might be accurate, but I want to verify that the amounts, but yes, those are literally just grants. In the event that the amount on the mad scientist, as you can see, is 3,200, because we're looking to do something again, we're working on that. As you can see, the money that we're putting in that is about 20, it's either somewhere between 25 and 27. The additional money that we have, the additional money will come from the Parkland Fund. As an
so FYI. We are putting in some money. Okay. So
not
we are putting in some money. Okay.
It's not a match though. You asked if it was a match.
Right,
no.
Right. Yes. And earlier though, you'd said there was none of our money but being put into this, but so some money is being put into this.
We don't know yet. As of right now, we're waiting for the second contract and decide if we want to do it. And I'll be blunt and tell you what it is. It has to do with the shorelines, whether or not we're going to kill the grass or they're going to kill the grass.
Okay.
So if we kill the grass, then the amount is not going to cover it. We don't need anything. We're not using any of our money for the actual bulbs or anything like that. It's just, it's all going, sorry. It all boils down to who's killing the grass.
Well, I think if they're in charge of this project, I think they should do it all the way, and you have the green space money.
Correct.
So my opinion is you should use that and do it right.
And that's why I asked if we could just get the new one. As of right now, the estimate that we have was 25.95 or 25.96. And that's why, and that's where I think the confusion is. That's the money that's on the appropriation, because that was the amount that we were planning on doing. But Lisa and I had talked about, you took the words out of our mouth. If we're going to do it, let's just do it right and have them do it. So we were waiting to get that final estimate for them to actually kill the grass in writing. So that's what so I was hoping we would have it before this meeting to have them both correct.
You know, and the thing is one thing you might want to think about, because this timing is important with the season, is if it would be less expensive, you might want to pull out just the grass, kill the grass thing, if in fact, and I don't know this for sure, but if it would be more efficacious to kill the grass earlier than when this takes effect, you might want to just put it separately, kill the grass, and so you can waive the readings. So it could be done, say, in March versus in April. Just saying, just a thought.
Well, and that, yes. So as soon as we get that tomorrow, and then maybe what I'll do is shoot you guys an email and ask you guys if you want me to separate it. Cause again, I can we can do it any way you guys want to do it. Mm-hmm. So at least we've started some of the readings. We aren't going to have to waive readings and do all of that for that. But like you said, if we end up needing to do something, killing the grass, and Tony, this may be something that we'll have 5 minutes to talk about in planning and zoning as well. So, and see, if they have any insight to it.
Although I would say on that, you would want to kill the grass as soon as you can to the start of the project. If you kill that grass in March and it's now dead grass or dirt until April, and you're going through all those March showers, that's going to be a lot of sediment and dirt running off into that pond. I assume when you say kill the grass, they're going to kill it and replace it with something else. That's going to hold the soil in. But not having soil on a slope above your thing is going to fill that pond up right quick. And then we're going to have North Lake.
And I think the good news is the mad scientist people are excellent, and they will be able to say what's appropriate.
Yeah. All right. And those are numbered appropriately because some of them are resolutions and some of them are ordinances. That was my question I was about to ask, and I noticed the difference.
And then
we had 203s and 204s.
Yes. And then just for, just to point it out, the salaries and positions, I know you guys have a meeting and you guys are going to discuss a little bit of that. But again, that's just a second reading. Whether or not we keep the word supervisor in there, take it out, whether or not we have a full-time person, that's on you guys. I'm not going into detail on that one. It's just a second reading until we figure out, until it's not.
Did I see you sent some job descriptions?
I did. Those were just the two that we took over from Westerville. Only because I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't go in today since today was a holiday. And that other one that we have, again, was in my stack of stuff in my car that my husband took this morning. And I didn't go into the office to get the other one because I made a photocopy of the one that we had, and the original is at the office. That one is not on the common drive. I was able to send those from the common drive from home. So those are just real quick, basic job descriptions that we had from, trying to find it, sorry. I really thought I had the other one and I cannot find it. But I don't think I've emailed it. I don't think I've done anything else with it. So I don't have I'm positive I don't have a copy of the other one. And again, it's really just for you guys to be able to talk about.
All right.
Okay, so the changes on the thing that are there. I'm gonna now turn this over to talking about the ordinance I'm looking to propose. I don't know that I can share it because it's on Word, so I can't just share a tab in my browser. But I think
you should be able to pull it up and share your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if I can do that. I want to share that screen. There we go. That is not the screen. Nope. What are you guys seeing there?
Ordinance to amend section 204.1 codified ordinance.
Hey, that is what I wanted to put up there. So part of this should be pretty easy. That is, if you notice here, the changes to A, just this Village of Minerva Park on the left side of the flag in Kelly green lettering. That's a description of our actual flag as it stands now and as it hangs in front of the community building. If you look at actual 204.01A, it talks about the lettering should be white on a field of green. It should be under at the bottom of the flag, and it should say Village of Minerva Park, Ohio.
Oh, I think I was frozen. So if anything was said in the last minute, I might need to hear it again.
Okay. The village flag right now is described as and designating the Village of Minerva Park, Ohio on the bottom portion of the flag in white lettering on Kelly green background. That's not the flag we have flying. So I just changed that to describe the actual flag we have so our code matches reality. And I assume that's the part that no one would really have a much of an issue with.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, and then I took some of Tony's advice already, some of Tony and Tiffany's advice already, and switched the next part of it to 204.04, which would just be adding a section to that. That says any proposed changes to meaningful logos or symbol of the village included but not limiting to the flag, police vehicles or maintenance vehicles must first be approved by a citizens advisory board. The board will consist of no fewer than 3, except for I wrote the word tree, and no more than 5 current village residents, the mayor and relevant committee chair of the department that is requesting said change. Citizen members of this committee will be approved by a majority vote in council. I will say, you know, there was the whole kerfluffle in the day of emails and unfortunately hurt feelings. But through it all, I still feel it's weird that that's not how we do things, or that there's not a system for doing things, that there's not some sort of set up, hey, we're gonna change the flag or come up with a big symbol that we put on t-shirts, and that there's no codified language in how we do that and how we get the community involved. So that's my thought and opinion. What are your guys' thoughts and opinions?
Yeah, I agree that I think it's weird that there's no defined process, right? I think it's weird that if we have, you know, if we've understood that there's a need to do something like, we'll take the current example of changing the decals on the police cruisers, right? And we've appropriated the money, then that could be anything, because it feels like the current, without any codified process, we then lose any control over what that might be, right? It could be that the police chief at the time, and, you know, I'm looking way out into the future, not talking about current administration or current chief, but maybe that police chief just loves clowns and turns them all into giant clown cars. Or maybe that police chief has other problems and does other potentially awful things, right? I think that one of the goals or one of the priorities or mandates of village council is to ensure that the village is operating in a manner that is representative of the village and having some sort of control over approving and disapproving its symbols is reasonable and appropriate. Now, all of that said, I don't know that a citizens advisory board is necessarily the best way about things, right? It certainly would slow things down by at least a month, if not 2, right? Because you have to be able to identify a board, you have to be able to appoint that board, you have to ratify that board, then they have to, you know, meet, have their discussions, move forward. But I do think citizen input is valuable, So I might propose, instead of a citizens advisory board, require some sort of period for public comment, right? That these changes would be published on the website, right? Notice would be sent out in the Villager or whatever our newsletter is, and a period, a 2-week period of public review and comment is just as valuable and appropriate as, or you know, would also satisfy my desire to have public input.
And then how would the final choice be made?
Yeah, I would put that in the hands of council.
Okay. So you want it to say, you would like it to say something along the lines of must be first presented to the public through
here, hold on. Let me try to. Any proposed changes to meaningful logos or symbols of the village, included but not limiting to those things, must first be put through a X number of week period of public review. And then final approval through a majority of council.
Okay, something like that. I am not going to argue with you that that would be quicker and still get public thing in. I'm okay with changing it to something along those lines.
And I think that that's okay. I think it's the other way that could be done, because we have rules of council already to allow the creation of a subcommittee off of one of the main committees. And since, say for example, it's safety, then according to the rules of council, the safety chair or a member of the safety committee would create this subcommittee, which then can consist of some citizens. They have to propose what the subcommittee is for, and it has to have a beginning and an end. The chair of let's say the chair of the safety committee could say, we need a subcommittee to reconsider the decals on the police vehicles. This subcommittee will consist of, then when they write up what the subcommittee is going to do, they'll say, we're going to get 3 citizens and we're going to get 3 citizens and a member of whatever. And they can propose that, so it could be more flexible than having it rigid, because some things could be quicker than some things could actually be a longer research. So anyway, it's already in the rules of council. And so they have to propose the subcommittee, the purpose of it, and what the goals, objectives are. And then council informally ayes and noes, they decide it's okay or not, then you go on to do that. So if you say your subcommittee is going to take 4 weeks to look at decals, come back, citizens, and then bring it back to council for a vote, it's taken care of within that subcommittee. It's dissolved when it's done. And then the next time, if you have something that involves the community, it can be a community subcommittee that's formed, and etc. Just another approach.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that what I have put forth precludes any of that, right? If someone wanted to go through the process of standing up a subcommittee to rework the village flag, right? And we put that under community, and they would, that could be the process that they do, but then it would come back for a public period of review, right? And then it would be enacted by, or, you know, finalized through a vote of council, right? As long as there is a period of public review and comment and the final go ahead is through council, all the rest, I don't know that it's necessary. Like the way I'm putting it forward, you know, if whatever mayor it may be, you know, wakes up one morning with the perfect idea for a new village flag, draws it, brings it to council, and council's like, hey, that's interesting. Let's see what the village thinks about it. Put it on the website. Everybody loves it. 2 weeks later, we could vote and have a new flag. Right? I don't see what's wrong with that as a completely hypothetical scenario.
Yeah, and I don't think Diane was saying there was anything wrong with that. I kind of agree. The way I heard Diane there was saying, if someone wanted to do a committee, it's already in ordinances. We don't have to put it in this. Yeah. And someone could do that. And this language certainly doesn't prohibit that, because this just gives minimum of minimum what has to happen. It doesn't preclude anything else.
Sure. Yeah, no, I just was, I thought I was hearing in addition to, that's all. But if I misheard, I misheard.
Well, one of the two of us did. Who was it, Diane? Because I didn't hear it.
It was not in. I didn't. No, we don't need anything in addition to. We got between the two of us.
I heard her correctly.
Mark it down.
Got plenty. Got plenty. I was just saying that there's already some written. There's some written guidelines. So if someone is not sure about how to proceed based on, you know, a couple sentences, there is structure out there. If they
can do it on their own.
Use it and look at it. There's structure out there. So.
Yeah.
There's structure out there now, because if we were to change the flag, we'd have to, you know, post that we're, you know, have a reading of amending the rule or amending our code. You know, this to me is a solution looking for a problem. Well, and the only meaningful logo we have is the flag.
Well, that's a good point, Tony, because I think we should identify meaningful objects, and I think that tree logo, I didn't care for it. I would have, I don't know that I would have won any kind of vote on that one, but I, you know, to me, the tree logo is something. The flag, the tree logo. There's probably the police vehicles. That's
all there is. That's all there is.
Well, I don't know.
What about other meaningful logo or symbol does the village have, other than a flag, letterhead, and the police cruisers? Name me one other meaningful logo or symbol.
What about a new logo or symbol where one didn't exist before?
So let's say in the future we stand up I don't know, I've heard it mentioned or asked for before, a Parks and Recs department. And we decide to create a logo for Parks and Rec.
Here we are. Yeah, right. Just in case we decide to do something in the future, we're going to do something.
Well, hold on. You've named 3 things that we currently have to which it would apply.
Okay.
Right. So there we are, setting a standard for how we would make changes to the 3 things. Plus, we are setting a standard for anything that it may impact in the future. Right? This is a guiding principle. So if we, again, make, you know, and here I'll throw another one out there, right? We have in the past talked about creating a community investment corporation, right? That has been discussed more than once. That's something that would require some sort of logo, right? If it's good.
Well, not only that, is I think we have, I don't know, I don't know, but it seems like we have a font we use sometimes, like the Village of Minerva Park in a circle that's on the truck. I mean, what is that? Is that just, did somebody just pick a font and make that up? Or does the village actually have an official font for the name of the village?
Mm-hmm.
What if somebody decided to change that font to something that was Gothic lettering? You know, that would change quite a bit about, like, first of all, what the hell are you doing?
I think the reason that we don't have anything in our rules is because it's always been
whoever happens to be in the office at the time is what it is. whoever happens to be.
Right. And there's not anything that's so earth-shattering of a symbol that we're talking about. You know, most people didn't even realize we had an official flag until last week. You know?
How would people not notice that?
And then I'm sorry, I'd like, yeah, show that again, because
every week.
hold that up. Let me see that. That's the official flag. All right. Because I can remember seeing the official flag at the community building. It doesn't look like that.
This is the flag.
It's not. The one at the community building, I don't think is the same as that. Just so you guys are aware.
Right.
So I don't know that
that was someone else. Someone else did some thank you envelopes with that design on it. Wherever that design comes from, it's old.
Yeah. The flag that Mark just held up is the one that is in our code as our official flag.
Because I think we have something else hanging, Diane.
It's a tree.
Yeah, no, yeah, we got
something. I think the one that's hanging up is the tree logo.
Okay, so I kept my mouth shut for a
burn the tree flag logo because it's not our official emblem, our official flag. How did that ever get made?
Well, I know how it got made.
Right.
Exactly. That's how things get done.
I'm going to give you my minor 2 cents. I'm not going to take over your guys' meeting, but I am going to give you guys a couple little points here. You know, having a 2-week, obviously the cons of this is, first off, I will tell you after discussing this with not just my little 5 people that I talked to in the village, but I definitely went outside of the typical 5 people. And I don't want to make this about police vehicles, but we're going to make this about police vehicles for about 7 seconds. I went through, as people came in to get their green tubs, as people came in to pay their Minerva Park fees or MPCA fees, I just kind of asked them, you know, what do you think about this? And I'm not going to go into detail, but I will tell you this. You can ask 10 different people and get 10 different answers. So I'm glad the first thing you're doing is taking off the 3 to 5 person advisory board, because you're never going to get anywhere. You're never going to get anywhere, because as simple as the fact of me sending over a picture of a sign, you guys saw how that went. And that was actually done from me. And I don't want to say that I did it on purpose, but I did it on purpose. I sent it just to show you the variations of opinions. Something is what I would consider as simple as a sign isn't as simple as I thought it was. Although I knew it wasn't going to be that simple. And Diane, this isn't a bash on you. I appreciate the back and forth between some of it, because
there's no bash on me, because
no, it's not.
There's no bash on me. I had a very strong opinion about that,
and you should.
I do, and I'm proud of it. I'm not ashamed of it.
And
I do appreciate being asked, and I appreciate your flexibility.
Yes.
Coming back with that plain green sign is perfect, because someone else is going to come up with curlicue sideways. And they're going to walk around. When we walk around the park, we're going to have one like this, and one like this, and one like this, and some people don't care. They don't even notice. I notice. So
and that's where I'm going with this. I think what you guys are doing is, in Tony's famous words, you guys are looking. Tammy, what did you just say? You're creating a
solution, looking for a problem.
Yeah, you are. That's my opinion. I will tell you, a lot of people that I spoke to did not believe it was that they believe that the police department should be involved in this. I don't want to say solely involved. Some of them believe that the police department should be solely involved in this, and it shouldn't go to the residents, and it shouldn't go to council's opinion. There were people that felt strongly about that, and there were people that did not. I mean, there were people that did think that getting residents involved was great, but I'm telling you, I got council involved just in a sign project, and you saw, you know, the differences of opinion. And again, this isn't.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's not, but you're never going to get anywhere.
Nothing wrong with asking people their opinion. People want to be able to.
Correct. But
give their opinion, even if the vote goes against them.
You're correct.
It's just to say that people have different opinions, so let's just shut the whole thing down and don't ask anybody. I just don't. I don't agree with that.
That's not the conversation that we're having. The conversation that we're having is having the 2-week reviews just to get differences of opinions and different things. My point is, going to 3 to 5 people. The purpose of getting 3 to 5 people in something like this, that my only point to that was, you're going to have 2,000 different opinions. So bringing 3 to 5 people, to me, is not the best of ideas. Having a 2-week review, and letting multiple people comment, I think is better.
Well, how is it working for you in planning and zoning with your 3 non-voting members and your 3 members? Aren't you asking a lot of people the same thing? How do you manage that?
Again, we're not talking about specific designs.
You're not? You mean the Lily Pond is not a specific design?
We've
having issues.
moved past the review thing.
Yes.
Committee
right.
that looks.
But I would like to say something about the lily pad, but I'm being quiet because I know I can't. So
don't do that, Diane.
I'm not going to do it. I know it. You've already got 6 people trying to do it, so I'm gonna back off.
We don't have 6 people working on the lily pond. We got 1 person in the mayor. That's how the people.
So, but anyways, all my point to you guys is there's a lot of people that do believe it should be the police department at least should be involved in this. And I don't see anywhere on your review board that they are.
Well, of course, you missed that part of his text. It said, and the department that's involved.
The safety, no, the committee.
No, the department. It says department. It's right in there in this text.
The committee that's in charge of that department.
Yeah,
is the way I read it.
Relevant committee chair of the department that is requested.
Committee chair of the department.
Tiffany read it right. I also don't think the police should have a say in what's on the side of their vehicles. If I'm going to be perfectly honest, they're employees. They can have the logo that the village decides they have.
I totally distree with that. Again, that's my opinion. We all have one.
You know, I don't get to decide if I want to have that stupid white bell on a blue background as the Westerville logo, but I just have to say, yep, I'm a classroom teacher and that's what's going to be on all my stuff.
And again, we're much smaller than that. We don't have that issue.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
we're much smaller
enough that we can be nimble.
So, but anyways, you guys do what you want to do as far as that goes. Whether or not they've already ordered it, as far as this goes, again, you guys can do whatever you want for the next one. Assuming that they did go ahead with the plain one that I sent you guys last week. The update to that is, you know, if we decided to add additional graphics, then that would be something that we obviously didn't already approve. But that one enables us to be able to add additional graphics to it because this is just the basic Minerva Park and police.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess what I would throw into this mix is I can tell you that I, as a council person, would never in the future feel comfortable appropriating funds for a design that hadn't already been presented without this kind of a measure in place.
Well, Brian, you're bringing up a greater topic is the way that the police budget is put together.
Yeah.
I mean, all kinds of stuff that has, that once we appropriate the money in a particular fund, it's up to the police chief to spend that money.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different things that it's going to fall under that category.
So that may require review as well. But I would just say that if it's without this kind of control on it, I feel like it is too possible for symbols that I find onerous and that I believe that the majority of our village would find onerous could find their way into public spaces. So
let's don't go down this debate right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, but that I mean, we're not going to debate whether we're not debating individual symbols here. I'm gonna go back and then I'm gonna probably adjourn this after I'm done. It's on the books that we have another one next Monday anyway, and I want to give everyone on this meeting at least the better part of 15 minutes to have a break before council starts. I know I need to use the restroom and get water and stuff. To me, it really is just for, especially as we expand our maintenance, we're going to have more vehicles, more things, more printed. Hey, this is what our official badge on the side of our truck is. And if I don't want someone in maintenance saying, well, I'm the supervisor, I want it to be this, and puts the decal on. I just think that's something that should go through council. So I will make sort of the changes that I heard tonight and send it back out to everyone, and we can continue this next week unless someone is really chomping to go the next 14 minutes before council on this. Anyone chomping at the meat? Oh, and I forgot at the beginning to say this is our legislative meeting, or this was our legislative meeting for February 15th. Present was Mayor Hughes, Councilperson Diane Shrimp, Councilperson Tony Benedetti, Council President Brian Wolf, Village Planner Eric Fisher, and Councilperson Mark Bruger, Chair of the committee. And I move to adjourn.
Second.
All right, see you guys.
All right, see you in all 15.
All right.